And there's definitely three areas specifically that I think tend to be the most commonly brought up whenever I'm taking people out around town or when I'm talking to people on different Zoom calls through my YouTube channel. Now, the first one is going to be RiNo, also known as River North. And this is an area that has really, I think, out of anywhere I'm going to talk about today, the area that I felt has been consistently very visible with homelessness really since I can remember. And there's actually a specific place in the River North or RiNo neighborhood, and that's going to be the Salvation Army, which is just a very kind of a staple of the area since I can remember. Really, really close to Coors Field, so where the Colorado Rockies baseball team plays here in Denver. Very close to that is the Salvation Army, and part of the reason it's so visible is obviously every day when they're serving food and different services for the homeless population, you see it because people are waiting in line and they're anticipating, it opening up for the day and going in and getting a meal, a hot meal, or maybe something else that they're offering for that day. So that Salvation Army specific location, this area has been a very visible gathering point for as long as I can remember. I remember going back to the River North area about 20 years ago. I actually used to work at Coors Field, which is the Colorado Rockies baseball stadium. That was my job throughout high school and even parts of my college. And this is an area that just is very, very close to the Salvation Army, where the Coors Field is. And I think one of the issues here is that there's very limited housing for affordability. And what happens here is there's a ton of tents, lots of maybe vehicles, just outreach teams that you'll see on a frequent basis that are always working daily in this area, trying to help connect people to different services and different resources. So I think out of any of the places that I'm gonna share with you guys today, this is probably the one that's the most visible. And I just want to add one last thing to that I think is really important. When you look at River North on a map, you can see that in addition to that Coors Field, you're very, very close to downtown Denver. When you have these large skyscraper type buildings in downtown Denver, there's lots of alleyways with big trash receptacles, different areas that tend to be pretty opportune and ideal for people that are scavenging and looking for food and maybe other things that have been thrown away that they can use to keep warm or just to help improve their makeshift shelter that they've built. So there's a lot more resources, both actual legitimate resources that are being provided by the city, but also just a lot of things that people can kind of get their hands on to help them with surviving in this part of town. So I think a lot of things going on here, but overall, RiNo, River North, is definitely going to be an area that you're going to see a lot of this. You've seen it in the past, you're seeing it today, and I don't see that changing in the near future. When it comes to real estate, there are some very nice homes still in this area, some single family, but you'll find a lot of multifamily, lots of big apartment buildings, as well as townhomes. And some of these are very, very high end, $1 million plus homes that are really only a block or two away from that specific area around the Salvation Army. So it's definitely something that some homeowners are dealing with, where you walk out your front door in the street that your home faces, there might be somebody with a tent just 2 or 3 feet off of your property line in that communal sidewalk area. So if that's something that you're really concerned about, I would just urge you to, take a drive out to this RiNo area and also do it at different times throughout the day, even different days of the week, to see how it might be different at different times, just to really get a full understanding of what you might be facing if you decide to live in this part of town.